What's up, you guys? This is Drake Neos here, coming to another Pokemon Go video. So yes, we'll be covering the Sunrise Cup, and holy cow, this is actually the first tournament I went 4-0 in so long. Usually I do pretty well in the first tournament of the season, as you guys saw my previous video from the Boulder Cup at the very beginning. I topped it, and the only thing is that Silph Road back then, it was a little glitchy. There was an update that caused the tournament to go from ranked to unranked, so that kind of messed me up big time. So with this one, this is an official tournament where I topped, as you guys can see right here. Thanks Pyro, one of the great friends of mine. I went 4-0 in this tournament with this team of Mantine, Abomasnow, Skarmory, Swampert, Vigoroth, and Stunfisk, Galarian Stunfisk to be exact. And this is an awesome team that I ran for the tournament. On my other tournament, I did pretty okay, 50-50 odds. That's my kind of little practice I did. I didn't rank it, but with the first one I did, it gave me a good jump all the way to rank 78 in the global rankings. Alright, I don't know how long this is going to last. I got a few more tournaments I'm going to be hosting and participating in. Right now, as you guys know, Silph Road is actually trying to alleviate some of the pressures of having to attend this many tournaments. So last season you had to attend 10 tournaments, so that way you get your rankings up. The first one being weighted, and the rest is like, oh, okay, try to mitigate the losses and try to get as much points as you can. This season, for season 4, you usually have to attend 6 tournaments. Okay, so first one's going to be your 10 times. So now for season 4, you just have to attend 6 ranked tournaments each month. So basically, it's going to follow a pattern of your first one's going to be the 10 times, second one's going to be the 2 times, 1.6, 1.2, 0.8, and 0.4. Alright, so once you get to the 0.4 on the 6th one, the next ones don't really matter. You're not going to get any benefit for that. So, but the thing is that you can decide during your tournament, like, oh, if you want to wait or not. So if you're going in a tournament, a 4-round tournament, you're going 1 and 4. You could in the middle, like for example on your third game, you could decide, okay, yeah, I'm going to opt out, so that way it doesn't hurt my ranking. So this should help out a lot of players. We should see a lot of new elite trainers, new legend players going in for this new season. Alright, so this is going to help out a lot. So I already done my 10 times, that's where I went 4-0. And now I'm just trying to decide, like, okay, try to make sure my next few tournaments I do is going to be pretty well. If a lot of tournaments I join is mostly a 4-round, 5-round, so I try to make sure those rounds I have to do really well in. And for our first quarter, we're playing against pHOSStheBOSS. He's running a Galarian Stunfisk, Pelipper, Mantine, Blaziken, Ferrothorn, and Vigoroth. So as we can see right here, 3 of his Pokemon is the same name as my team, with the Galarian Stunfisk, Mantine, and Vigoroth. Alright. And also he has a Flyre type user, similar to my Skarmory, the Pelipper, and a Grass type user, Ferrothorn, for my Abomasnow counter user for my Vigoroth right there. So when we're doing our analysis, we can see that his Mantine has a 4 Pokemon advantage over mine's, and Pelipper with a 3, a Ferrothorn with a 3, and Vigoroth with a 3. Stunfisk is a 2, so we gotta try to be a little wary of that. Same with his Blaziken. Now for mines, I have a Mantine with 5 Pokemon lead over his, a Skarmory with 4 over his as well, but looking from a Pelipper, Blaziken, Ferrothorn, and Vigoroth, and a Vigoroth with a 4 Pokemon lead advantage as well. But the problem is Vigoroth will lose out against a Pelipper, so that's where I gotta be very extra careful of that. But in exchange, my Vigoroth can take down his Galarian Stunfisk. Alright, so if I was to make a team composition from here, I'll definitely put in something with a Mantine in, probably in the lead, and either try to decide between a Vigoroth or Skarmory. But if I go with any of those, I'm going to need something that can cover a Mantine, Galarian Stunfisk, and a Pelipper from there. So my next choice I would probably pick is a Abomasnow from that point. Now I can see that my Stunfisk has a 1 Pokemon advantage over this, which is not a good idea to try to use that for the time being. So right here I'm picking a Bomb Snow, Skarmory, and Vigoroth right here. So we'll see how we can do. Because right now a lot of people are doing the man time lead, which is, I thought, I don't really need to do it. So this is where my Bomb Snow will shine against his man time. I gained off that Weather Ball pretty fast. The Power Snow charges up so fast. And for right here is the man time. The tackle is going to be way too quick, so decided not to shield that Bubble Beam. Decided to let it go through because I'm not going to take much damage. And you can see this is where Bulbasaur gets off that Weather Ball so fast. So he decides to switch, gets that Blaziken. This is where I decided, like, okay, I'm going to put in that Skarmory. Now for right here, I was thinking, okay, it's going to be Blaziken. Decided not shield, but take a look. That Blaziken hits Skarmory so hard. And that Sky Attack here is coming off, and then he's going to shield. And this is what I was thinking, like, oh, okay, yeah, I should have shielded. Try to keep that Skarmory alive. And this is where he decides, okay, he's going to try to get off another Blaze Kick to waste my shield. And this is where I'm going to use Vigoroth to counter that Blaze Kick off. And this is where he's going to bring back that Man-Time with that Bubble Beam or Ice Beam. Bubble Beam is going to decrease my attack. And this is where Vigoroth is going to get off that Body Slam off. Very fast, very easy with that counter. But just remember that you're going to be resistant against flyers. So at this point, I am in so much trouble because that Vigoroth is surrounded by 2 flyers. And I got Bulbasaur with only a quarter health left, and he still has a shield advantage. And from here is where I decided to shield. Yeah, I guess that Weather Ball was a good idea, and get off my own Weather Ball, which should do huge much damage to that Pelipper. And just ice it down. And this is where I get the first game. Alright, and this is where I see from here is like, okay, he's going to be liking some of his teams. And I was like, okay, I could probably run a man-time lead from right here. Or I know that my Bulbasaur is going to do really well against his flyers. And just a little hesitant between the Skarmory or the Vigoroth. So I decided to go with the classic man-time lead. Try to decrease the attacks. And Galarian Sunfist just for something a little fun. Probably something he's not going to expect. And the Skarmory. So I'm running the double flyer and the Sunfist team. And going from here, of course, he's running that Man-Time. And this from here is that, okay, whoever can get off that Bubble Beam first. Alright. Try to maximize the amount of damage I can give off. And then his attack is decreased. And so there comes his Bubble Beam. Try to decrease my attack. And we're just going off Bubble Beams from each other. This is where I was like, okay, let's see if I can fake him out, get some Ice Beam, get some damage in. And he decides to take it. Nice. And then there's where he's going to come in with his Ice Beam, doing the same thing. And decides to switch. And he goes with his Sunfist. And this was I was thinking, okay, I gotta decrease the attack with this. So at least get the Bubble Beam off. So that way his Rock Slide's not going to do that much damage. Ooh, but it hits harder than I expected. And this is where I decided, oh, I'm going to go with mine. I should have waited a little bit on this one because he's already expecting that. So next time I would suggest just hold off a little bit. But I knew that he was already charged. He had enough energy charge for that Earthquake. So this is where I was like, okay, yeah, he's enough. But I was so worried that it might be another Earthquake. So gotta be careful on your counts, guys. So this is where I managed to get his shield off. And I'm going to go for another Rock Slide. But this is what I said is my mistake. I should have tried to go for an Earthquake if possible. But he luckily switches to the Man-Time to absorb it. And there comes a Skarmory. And you know what happens on the Skarmory match. Alright, Skarmory versus Blaziken. Blaziken has a full advantage with that Blast Burn. I was like, okay. This is what I had to where I lose. It hits very hard. Yeah, Not a good idea. That blaze kick hits hard. So that's one thing you gotta be very careful of, especially that blaze kick. Alright. Now for final match, I was like, okay, I know he likes that blaze kick. So how am I going to be able to counter that? I'm going to need that man time in. So decided to put that in. I was thinking that, okay, he's going to probably be doing another man time lead. A lot of trainers don't really like to switch out their leads. They like to keep what's comfortable. So decided to keep the Bulbasaur in, the man time, and the Vigoroth at the end. Alright, because I'm thinking that he might put his Ferrothorn in to counter my man time. So there's my Bulbasaur, there's his Ferrothorn. Alright, different matchup. But we know that Ferrothorn has a pretty good, we know that Bulbasaur has a pretty good match against Ferrothorn. Because I'm going to be able to get off that Water Ball off pretty fast than he does. So he has an option of either going a Power Whip or Thunder. Decides to go with Thunder, that's fine, but my Bulbasaur still resists to it. And there goes my Water Ball. And this from here is like, okay, I'm just going to slowly farm him down. And I really need to keep this Bulbasaur alive because it has so much uses. Alright, he decided to switch. Decided I switched just in time. Try to make sure to put my man time with his Blaziken. And his Blast Burn. I was like, I'm fine, I can take it. And just like, okay, just try to go for that Bubble Beam. Because I know that he doesn't have Stone Edge, so my Manti could take at least a few hits of his Blaze Kick or his Blast Burn. But I was thinking like, oh, okay, he had his Blast Burn time and just lost the shield because of that. Alright, and this is where I was like, okay, gotta at least Bubble Beam down. Can't afford to have him Bubble me down. Or fine with me. And before this man time goes down, I try to get that Bubble Beam off. Try to decrease the attacks of that man time as much as I can because I've just loaded up. Try to make sure he wastes his shield at least. And from here, this is where I was like, okay, I gotta sacrifice my Vigoroth. Vigoroth with Body Slam does a huge amount of damage. So I'm just like, okay, just try to sacrifice it, get as much damage off. If I could get a shield off of him, and prepare for my Bulbasaur with that Water Ball, that would be great. And just slowly chip it down, just slowly. There's that Body Slam to get it down, and just counter down just a little bit, take one hit. If he does an Ice Beam, that's perfectly fine because this Vigoroth has already done its job. And this is where my Bulbasaur comes in with that Water Ball to finish off that man time for a game. And that was an amazing game from there. Great job, Mr. Foe. So round 2, I'm playing against Mootsy2shoes. He's a good friend. I play against him a lot in the Houston tournaments. So he's running a Shadow Bulbasaur, Glaring Sunfish, Shadow Articuno, Vigoroth, Mantine, and Drifloon. Alright, so if you look right here, he's running 3 flyers, with the exception of the Mantine, which I currently have myself, Vigoroth, a counter user, Glaring Sunfish to take down the flyers, which I also have as well, but a Shadow Bulbasaur. So I gotta take into account that Shadow Bulbasaur is going to do a lot more damage than my regular Bulbasaur. And from right here, when we look at the analysis, my Mantine has a 5 Pokemon advantage over his, and the Bulbasaur has a 4, and with the 3s with Skarmory, Vigoroth, and Unfist. No, not going to put Swampert in because that's way too dangerous of a 1 Pokemon advantage. But in exchange for his, he has a Mantine with a 4 Pokemon advantage over me, and the 3s on this Bulbasaur, Articuno, Vigoroth from right there. And I can see that from his Bulbasaur with his matchup against my own, it's going to be very close. Mantine is going to be a little bit close as well. So with it being a Shadow, that means it's a little bit squishier to my Vigoroth and my Skarmory. So I should be able to take that down a little bit faster than if it was a regular one. Alright. From here, this is where we're going to start our first match. I decided to go with the Mantine lead to try Bubble Beam down. his team try to soften up the blows, especially since most of the teams are Shadow. So Bubble Beam goes off against Shadow Articuno. Alright. Try to decrease the damage. Just know that Shadow Articuno has access to Icy Wind, so it's just going to do the same thing with my Bubble Beam either way. Let's try to decrease the damage. This Icy Wind came a lot faster than mine, which I was actually a little bit surprised because my mana time should be a 14 attack. So I was like, alright, try to decrease the damage as much as I can. And there goes another. But apparently I had the Bubble Beam in time, but I guess I couldn't get to it. So, alright. So I lost that mana time, and here comes my Abominable Snow. And I knew that he didn't really have that much energy left, so Abominable Snow for Ice Beam to try to decrease the damage off. And get to my energy ball, try to see if he's not going to shield or not. And just in time, switch. Build that energy to my Vigoroth, and for that body slam. I guess he was just trying to save it. But this is where I know Moody a lot. He's the type of guy that likes to save his shields for the very last match, which is actually not that bad, but it has its own risks at the same time. So this is where I'm going to do the same thing. Just Vigoroth, body slam that mana time down as much as I can, counter if possible. I know it's going to resist it, but still, that's a good amount of damage added up. And Abominable Snow for that Power Snow. That's what I was thinking, like, okay, is it going to be Ice Beam or Bubble Beam? Wrong shield, bro. Bubble Beam, not really much, and just Power Snow it down. That's basically all I could do from here. Besides, not shield, but he already knew at that point that it's not really worth it. Don't know why he didn't shield. He should have. He had 2 shield on him. So, I don't know, maybe it's just him thinking like, oh, because my Abominable Snow is going to Power Snow his mana time down. And this is where I was thinking like, okay, gotta be a little careful. I know the mana time is very strong against this team. And same with my Skarmory and my Vigoroth. Not going to put in that Swampert. Oh, no. Swampert's not good for this match for the time being. So I'm just going to wait. So I was like, okay, let's go with this team. A double flyer, a Skarmory, and a mana time team. And for right here, I'm trying to remember what was my team. The last one I put in. I think I probably put a Vigoroth or a Abominable Snow, trying to decide. Oh, so this is where I went with the Sunfist team. So a flyer and a Sunfist to throw rocks at. Okay. Just throw rocks. Okay. Because I know he has 3 flyers, and just gotta be careful of his Sunfist, his own Sunfist and Vigoroth from right there. Alright, so this is where my Skarmory versus Abominable Snow comes in. Oh man. Yes, his Abominable Snow hits hard, but in exchange for being a shadow, that means my Air Slash is going to hit that Abominable Snow just as hard. So gotta keep it alive, because I know that Water Ball is going to hit Skarmory pretty hard. So try to get that Sky Attack off. He's going to shield, of course. And this is where I was like, okay, do I really want to win that first match? Just take one Water Ball and try to bring it down. And this is where that Abominable Snow goes down. So I have that Skarmory with a loaded up Sky Attack ready to go and 1 shield over. So let's get to that Sky Attack. Yes, it's Abominable Snow. Nice. And he decides to shield. And he has no shields left. And luckily, I have a mana time, another flyer in. So I can resist that counter. So Body Slam's the only thing I gotta be careful of. Okay, and this is where he goes in and decides for that Body Slam. Yes, it's going to hit me hard, but this is where I'm going to go with my Bubble Beam, try to soften that blow. He throws in that Drifloon, and I knew that Drifloon already at that point already had that Icy Wind coming out. So I was like, okay, go ahead and try to sacrifice this mana time. Try to ease up, make him think that, oh, okay, it's going to be Ice Beam, but it's not. It's going to be a Ice Beam coming out. And this is where the Bubble Beam comes in. Try to decrease the damage as much as I can. And from right here, this is where I'm going to go with my Sunfist and just build up the energy because I need enough energy to try and knock out that Vigoroth that he has in the back. Alright, just keep Mud shot, and it was like, okay, yep. Alright, that Driftwood falls, and this is where my Earthquake goes in. That's a huge amount of damage, and I was like, oh no, come on. Can I do it? That body slam, and threw Mud right at his face. And this is where he comes with that Drifloon, throws in that Rock Slide to knock it out. There we go. That was so close. I thought it was Vigoroth was going to knock out my Sunfist. But just in time, literally just in time. Alrighty. So right here is what I was trying to decide. Okay, I know he likes his flyers. I know that he likes his Vigoroth. So that means I'm going to need at least one of the flyers. I'm going to need at least something to counter his Vigoroth. And I need something in the back just in case for any scenario. So I was thinking like, okay, should I probably run the double flyer strategy again? Should I run the man-time lead? Or should I run the man-time counter or the flyer counter with the Abomasnow? Or should I probably run the Vigoroth? Not many people will run the Vigoroth lead because a lot of people, everyone's very afraid to try to lead it with Sunfist. So I decided from here, okay, I'm going to go with the Abomasnow lead. I count as flyers, the man-time. I decided for fun, Swampert. Alrighty, so Abomasnow against this Articuno. Alright. Pretty good amount of damage for both sides. Except my Power Snow can charge up my Waterfall a lot faster. And I'm just throwing it at it. He's got the Icy Wind coming, and I decided like, you know what, I'm going to take it. And then going into my Waterfall, but he switches to that Vigoroth just in time. And right here is like, okay, I gotta be a switch. And got to that man time for that body slam. Ooh, just in time. Take that one body slam. Here's the Bubble Beam coming off. And just try to decrease the attack for that Vigoroth. Alright. And this is what I was thinking like, okay. I need to shield that because I want to try to keep that man-time alive as much as I can. Throwing off that Ice Beam, try to see if I can fake him out. And it does. He lets it through. And this is where he going to throw that body slam. Alright, that's fine. And just bow him down. And this is where I was like, okay, Articuno. Alright, against my man-time, just going in with that bubble. There you go, try to decrease that damage, and we both go down. But this is where I waited. This is where I wait. Against this Abomasnow, just keep going down like right here. And this is where it was a bad idea. I should not have put in the big Swampert in. Because I like, you know what, it's not worth it. He can have it. I could have shielded, but his Abomasnow would take me down. Alright, in this next round we're playing against PyroGiggity. He's a very good friend of mine. He's one of the main admins for the Houston PvP group. So, look at his team, Skarmory, Man-time, and so 2 flyers the same as mine. A unique team of Marowak, which actually is really good right now. A Shadow Victory Bell in comparison to my Abomasnow, Wigglytuff for a counter user, which actually does a huge amount of damage. And Drifloon, so 3 flyers and just mostly 3 hitters. Okay, so for right here we can see, alright, my man-time has a 6 Pokemon lead against his, so of course I'm going to have a man-time on my team. He has nothing really, anything to counter me against it. And Abomasnow with 3, Skarmory with 4, so of course I'm going to try to decide to put Skarmory in. Vigoroth has a 0 Pokemon advantage over, so I'm not going to put Vigoroth in. So he's already got me on that. And Swampert with 3 as well, and a Sunfist with 5. I always say that Sunfist got to be careful with that man-time with that bubble and Ice Beam, so I just got to be a little careful of. And for his team, his man-time is a 4, which I got to be looking out for that, and his Alolan Marowak with a 3. So looking at my team right here, I already know for sure I'm gonna put Mantine and Glider and Sunfist. And from right there, I could just try to decide like, okay, if I want to run a Flyer Skarmory, or Bombsnow, or Swampert. So this is actually my leeway, but of course I'm going to be running those two on my team. Alright, this is where I decided to run the double Flyer and Galarian Sunfist team. Alright. And decided, of course, Mantine. Try to go for that Bubble Beam, attack damage, attack reduce damage, and just keep going that bubble. Try to get to that Bubble Beam. Against that Wigglytuff for that Charm. So try to see as much as I can. That Bubble Beam will decrease the Charm damage I'll take from now on. Alright, just keep going. Just keep going at that Bubble Beam. Just keep going. And this is where he switches to Victory Bell. And I was like, okay, before I make my switch, let's see if I can get to that Bubble Beam down. And I do. And going switch into that Skarmory. Skarmory just farm up as much as I can out of that Victory Bell. It's already been reduced by damage with the Bubble Beam. And my Skarmory has resisted damage against most of the attacks from Victory Bell. So I was like, alright, don't shield. Just try to let it go. And just going to go for that, alright, Sky Attack ready to go against that Marowak. Now this Marowak has Fire Spin, so I gotta be extra careful on that. Just try to keep going. Thank you, Victory Bell Farm. Just going for that Sky Attack. Alright, just keep going. Man, that Fire Spin just hits Skarmory hard. This was like, okay, I could commit a shield to it. Shielding up that Bone Club. And I know he's just trying to make me waste my shields. But I already got another Sky Attack ready to go, so this is why I wanted to. But he switches that Wigglytuff just in time to try to take the Sky Attack. Alright. And he has that Marowak ready to go. And this is where I was like, okay, kinda would do Mantine. Bubble it down. Alrighty. So from here, we know that he likes the Marowak, we know that he likes the Victory Bell. So of course, I'm going to still keep to my Mantine lead. Because the 6 Pokemon advantage over, and still, Mantine has a 6 Pokemon advantage over this whole entire team. Of course, I'm going to run it. And this is where I was trying to decide, okay. I know he's going to like that, so let's try to go with the same lineup. That's Sunfist and that's Skarmory. So Double Flyer and Skarmory. Alright, and he goes with Victory Bell against a Mantine. Alright. Mantine's going to go in. I'm seeing that it's going to be taking a lot of damage, so I was like, okay. Before I go down, let's see if I can fake him down. It's an Ice Beam. I should have went to that Bubble Beam. That's my only biggest regret. I did make him waste a shield, which I'm actually pretty happy on that. But he's already got a Victory Bell loaded up with some energy, and my Skarmory is just now coming in. And so I was like, okay, going to not shield. Good call, it was a Leaf Tornado. I guess he knew that his Victory Bell's about to go down. So just go from right here, another Sky Attack combo. I should have enough Sky Attacks already built up because I have Victory Bell. He decides to take one. I'm going for the second one. I'm just going to farm, try to see as much as I can. And I got 2 shield advantage over that Marowak. And I was like, at this point, no, it's not worth it. Keep my 2 shields alive for my Sunfist. So, Galarian Sunfist with 2 shields? Yeah. It's literally a tank at this point. And from right here is Wigglytuff. Alright, gonna Earthquake it down. Just keep building the energy. I know he switched to that Marowak, so I'm trying at this point try to farm that Wigglytuff, build up enough energies for when that Marowak comes in. So here's the first Rock Slide, trying to knock out that Wigglytuff. The moment that Marowak comes in, Rock Slide it down. And there you go. Alright, and for the last match, alright. So he already knows that I'm very committed for the man time. He already knows that I really like that Skarmory. And this is where I decided to switch it up on him. Let's see if he can try to figure me out. So, put the Abomasnow in. But I'm still going to keep that man time and Galarian Surface. That's what I wanted. Hold on, I'm trying to remember what was this one. Oh yeah, this is where I decided to be funny. I want to put a Abomasnow, Swampert, and Sunfish in. Try to change it up. Make him think I'm doing something else. So he calls my bluff. He gets to that Marowak. Okay, gets my Abomasnow, and this is where I switch. Get to that Swampert. Click call. Take that Bone Club. And this is where he decides to switch. I'll try and get to the Hydro Cannon as fast as I can. If I get to that damage. Oh, he has that Wigglytuff. I know he loves it so much. And going for another Hydro Cannon. Luckily, I had Sludge Wave on my Swampert ready for this cup. Because I wanted to see if there was some like random typings like fairies or grass types that are coming in for this cup. So that's why I have it for Swampert for this time. Alright, he goes in. And I really couldn't get to that Hydro Cannon in time. But I still have a 2 shield advantage over him. So this is where my Abomasnow comes in with that Weather Ball. That does a huge amount of damage to that Drifloon. And just get to that another Weather Ball. I was like, yeah, should I shield or not? Alright. Don't shield. And the same thing, I just keep the 2 shields on my Galarian Sunfish. I know he has a Drill Run, Bone Club, or Shadow Ball. And just like, okay, go for a Rock Slide. That's one down. And this is where I just build it up. Here's my second Rock Slide. Going in. And at this point, I didn't really care because I knew his Drifloon didn't really have that much health left. And if it did, okay, I had the shield ready. Almost wins, okay. And just Mud Shot. Now for my last match, we're playing against OVtavion. One of the best players, one of the top players I know in the area. Really good. And from here, this is where I gotta be extra careful because looking at his team, he has the Galarian Surface, the Vigoroth, Mantime, Abomasnow, and a Skarmory. 5 of the same Pokemon that I'm running, with the exception of a Emolga. This Emolga is going to be in place for my Swampert, and this is where I probably see like, okay, literally a mirror match between each other with the exception of one Pokemon, but our team composition is going to be a little bit different. Where this Mantime, my Mantime has a 4 Pokemon lead, Abomasnow 3, Skarmory 3, Vigoroth 3. Swampert actually has a 4 Pokemon advantage over his, so that's actually something to look forward to, and my Galarian Surface will look for as well. Whereas for his team, his Galarian Surface has a 2 Pokemon advantage over mine, Vigoroth with a 3, and Molga with a 3, surprisingly. Mantime with a 1, Abomasnow with a 1, which I'm very surprised. I thought it would do a little bit better, and a Skarmory from right here. So this is where we gotta try to be a little careful because both our teams are very similar with only 1 Pokemon difference. And I decided for this one, going with the Sunfish, Vigoroth, and Swampert. Alright, it's gonna be very close. He actually calls my bluff and goes with Vigoroth against my Sunfish. Bad idea, and this at this point I was like, okay, let's see if I can try to get some damage off. And he goes with his Body Slam, which I decided to take and switch to my own Vigoroth from right here, and I actually got to my own Body Slam. And he decides to shield. But he already has another one ready to go. Good call. Body slam for my own. And he decides to switch to that Skarmory. There's a lot of, okay, going to get to that body slam. Try to do a little bit of chip damage as much as I can. And just let him take down my Sunfist. But I already got that Sunfist ready to go with that Rock Slide. Hitting that Skarmory as much as I can. And this is where I was like, okay, do I want to continue shield? Good call, because that was a brave bird. And just going for that Rock Slide to take down that weak in defense Skarmory. He decides to let that go, of course. This is where his Vigoroth comes in with that counter to slowly chip down my Sunfist and that body slam. Hits his mark, and this is where I got my Rock Slide going. So he has no shields left, and I got my Swampert all ready to go. At this point, I have 4 Pokemon that's still ahead of him. And right now, this is going to be very close because we got Swampert versus Mantine. And it's got to be very careful. And he already bubbled me down. And this is where I was like, okay, going to at least get to that Sludge Wave going. Because I know Hydro Cannon is not going to really do as much damage to him. It's like, okay, shield, it's going to be Ice Beam. Wrong call, and it's going to be a Bubble Beam. He's trying to decrease my damage. And this is just painful to watch. It's like, oh no, come on. And this is where he gets just at least a little bubble me down. And that's all he needs to do. And there he goes. And this is where my Sunfist comes in, but I couldn't get to that Rock Slide in time. So this is where he gets it. Alright. That's very close. I think he predicted I might put a Swampert in to counter that Molga, but that's why he wanted to try to leave that Mantine in. So right here, this is where I was like trying to look through his team. Alright, he had the Emolga, he has the Abomasnow, he has a Skarmory, he has a Mantine. He has literally 5 of the same Pokemon as me. So just like trying to decide what would I do in my own scenario. So I was like, okay, let's go with the Mantine lead, try to decrease the damage a little bit, Abomasnow in the back, and Galarian Sunfist. Alright, pretty solid. Alright, my Mantine is in the lead versus Skarmory, which actually has a pretty good matchup. So let's try to get to that Bubble Beam, decrease the attacks, so that way his Air Slash, that Sky Attack's not going to hit as hard as it usually does. And just try to keep going as much as I can. Here's the first Sky Attack. Aside from here, it's like, okay, still going to do a pretty good amount of damage. So I shield it. Alright. And then try to see if I can fake him out, make him think it's Bubble Beam, but it's actually Ice Beam. And he doesn't shield, which is just perfect for me. Now I'm like, okay, just try to build up to that next couple Bubble Beams, or any of this next Pokemon that he got. And he does come in, and I was like, okay, let's see if I can fake him out, make him think it's the Ice Beam. And I got to that Bubble Beam just in time. So double Bubble Beam for that shield. He doesn't shield, that's the only thing I don't get. I was like, oh my goodness, you had an opportunity to shield when you could have. And I couldn't get that shield off of him. And you can see from right here, his Ice Beam doesn't really do as much as it needs to. So this is where I could just go off, just like try to get him, try to waste his damage, get his energy. So 3 Bubble Beams off onto the opposing Mantine. So this is where he really got to get my energy down. And this is from here, I was like, okay, should I shield, should I not? Let's let it go through. Ice Beam, perfect. And just Abomasnow, Power Snow it down, try to build up the energy for anything. So he's going to, of course, Bubble Beam from right here, or Ice Beam. Alright. At this point, I already have enough energy for a Weather Ball, or an Energy Ball. And I was like, alright, let's try to hit him with an Energy Ball. And he doesn't shield. Alright, perfect. I already got enough built up, so I could try to keep going, make him waste his shield. And from right here, another weather ball. I just built up so much energy from that bomb snow. And that was game 2 for me. Alright, and sudden death. Both players, OVtavion and myself, both already have 1 win on each of each other. So this is where we're going to try to play it out. Oh man, it's so nerve-wracking. So yes, I go with the Stormy lead, a bomb of snow, which I know they really likes to see. And from here, this is where I decided to surprise myself. And just like, alright, you only live once. That's what I always say. So this is where I decided from here, I think this, and this is one where I go with Swampert. Stormy, bomb of snow, Swampert. Alright, it's a pretty good lineup. Here goes my Stormy versus Vigoroth. Kind of made a call because I knew that in his first team he led with Vigoroth, so that means he's very comfortable with that one. Stormy try to take down a little bit of that body slam. Alright, builds enough for that sky attack, and he does a shield. He likes to take the first damage. And that's why I was like, yeah, I want to try to keep Stormy alive a little bit longer and try to get to that sky attack. I couldn't get into it in time. And just air slash it down. Alright, and then whenever he comes in, I let go of all my sky attacks I built up from that Vigoroth. Alright, he has a van time, perfect for me to align my bomb snow with it, get to that weather ball. Size a shield, good call. I just keep building up the energies. And from right here, I know it's going to be Ice Beam or Bubble Beam. It doesn't really matter. I could take it and just go for that weather ball. Just keep going for that weather ball. Try to build it up, and he switches to his own Skarmory, and it's like, okay, before my bomb snow goes down, let's see if I can get that weather ball off on that Skarmory, and he lets it go. Perfect. So this is where Swampert has to do so much damage. I'm like, okay, gotta do as much as I can. Sky attack. Alright, built it up. Already 1.5 Hydro Cannon going in. Here's my Hydro Cannon. He blocks it. Perfect. But already got enough for a second Hydro Cannon in the back. And there he goes. Hydro Cannon to knock out that Skarmory. And this is where his mana time has a little bit of health. Ice Beam, Bubble Beam. I could actually take it a little bit. Alright. And this is where the Hydro Cannon. Very last one for us Swampert for game. I got lucky on that one. Oh my goodness. That was close. That was really close. And good game to OVtavion. And wow, this is actually first time in a while where I actually won a pretty decent sized tournament. And congratulations to all the players that attended. Pretty good turnout, pretty good leads, pretty good team builds from everyone. We're going to see a lot of changes throughout the next couple weeks, especially before Halloween Cup. So be on the lookout for that and for more future videos that I'll be posting from here. And I'm so glad I made the top 100 rankings in global. Where currently I was at rank 74, now I'm rank 78. That means a lot of people are starting to get the tournaments in, so I'm getting kicked out a little bit, but I got some more tournaments I'll be building up, another week long, so there are live tournaments that you'll be seeing me posting from right here. Alright, be sure to post in the comments down below what you guys think of this tournament, how I did, if you have any suggestions, my team builds. Some people suggest I take out Swampert, go for something else, another anti-flyer, so I might try to test it around for that. So, anyway, well, this is it for now. Be sure to post comments down below, and this is Drake News signing out. Take care.